podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
Coming up, the latest wave of note-taking apps hits the scene with a bang.
Bang! Plus, News.me's different, Qwiki's smart, and Kindle books. Will they blend?
All that plus decorating tips. Yes, really,
Yay.
we all need them on iPad today.
iPad Today is brought to you by Go to My PC. Attention iPad owners, access your applications and files on your home or office computer from your iPad with Go to My PC by Citrix. For your free 30-day trial, visit gotomypc.com. Click the Try It Free button and enter the promo code iPad Today. And by Slingbox, which you can turn your iPad into a television. With a new iPad app from Slingbox, you can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you go. Check it out at slingbox.com. And by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to publish a high-quality website or blog. For a free 14-day trial, go to squarespace.com/iPad today and be sure to check out their annual plan for savings of up to 20% off. Yes, it's iPad Today, the Royal Wedding Eve edition. Hello, Sarah Lane.
Hello, Leo Laporte. Are you going to get up at the wee hours of the morning to watch?
It is for us, too, because it's I
actually don't know when it starts.
It's 9 a.m. British Standard Time. I think that's
goodness, that's 1.
2 a.m. or 1 a.m. our time.
Oh,
yeah.
dear. Oh, dear.
I don't. You know, so the question is not whether you're going to get up, but whether you're going to not go to bed. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sometimes awake at 1 a.m. anyway, so I might tune in just to see the spectacle.
It will be beautiful.
Well, it's going to start at 1 a.m. I mean, this is the royal wedding. It's going to last hours, right?
And
procession and the hoo-ha.
Everybody wants to know what color dress Kate's going to wear. I think I guess it's white.
I don't know.
It won't be red. I think it'll be white.
I would say
At
so.
worst, it might be a little off-white.
Perhaps
an egg.
a crew.
A crew.
An eggshell.
Eggshell.
A bone.
A bone white.
It reminds me of American Psycho business card conversations.
A crew.
A crew. God, isn't that a terrible word?
It must mean something in French.
I'm sure.
Probably means eggshell white in French.
Maybe.
Yeah. So today, actually it's 3 a.m. Pacific. 3 a.m. Pacific.
3 a.m.
But
Pacific.
I had heard.
Well, then
I had heard 10 a.m. British Standard Time, and I'll tell you why I think that later in the show.
Okay.
When it's time for my app cap.
Oh, we're gonna revisit the royal wedding.
Maybe.
It's so funny. I've heard more complaining about how the royal wedding is just not interesting and no one should pay attention to it than actual news about the royal wedding. It's all these people in my Twitter stream
Everywhere.
Complaining about stuff that I'm not even... Just stop paying attention and stop talking about it.
Some people have a gene for the royal wedding. Some people don't. And I think our fans and friends lack the royal wedding gene. But the real people...
The silence would be great. If you don't like it, you just tune on out.
Right.
Don't complain to me because I'm not paying attention either way.
You'll be nice and quiet.
That would be great. But enough about the royal wedding because we're all about... I like to call this theme notation, notation, notation. Who do I remind you of? Notation, notation, notation.
Steve Ballmer?
Yeah. Thank you.
But the word notation, I don't think he said that.
But didn't he do that?
He did the developers, yeah.
Well.
Notation. This is really the theme of our show is notation?
Well, the reason that it is because, first of all, we told people that we were going to revisit note-taking apps on the last show.
I blame myself.
And the reason that we said that is because people are constantly requesting that we revisit note-taking apps. I mean, this is the theme that we've done the most of since
Don't
the
mess
show
with your
started.
card key demagnifier. You might never get in another hotel room again.
These smart covers, if you weren't watching our pre-show, be careful when you go to a hotel and you've got the magnetized room keys because your smart cover on your iPad will demagnetize them if you lay one on top of the other long enough.
It's just one more feature of the magical and revolutionary smart cover.
It is.
It's a card key eraser.
It makes you more social because you can't get back in your room and you have to go down to the pool and hang out with a guy in 210.
Oh.
Yes.
Interesting.
Or, the lady or whatever, the grandmother.
The guy, you said that with such confidence as if you There really was a
on-
guy in 210.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
No, nothing.
There aren't any
guys in 210.
rooms on the level, second level
so
where I was staying.
Couldn't possibly be.
So I'm in the clear.
Couldn't possibly be.
310?
How did you enjoy Hawaii?
Yeah, it was wonderful. Had a great trip.
You're not tanned. I thought you'd come back brown as a berry.
I don't tan well because I just freckle. So I'm...
Do you say you stayed out of the sun?
I got a little color.
Yeah, I guess you got a little color.
I'm not, my point wasn't to get real. I just, all it's going to do is make me look older. I'm trying not to do that.
I like to get out there in the sun and look like a saddlebag when I get back.
Well, you'd do well in Hawaii then. I mean, a bunch of people who you're like, ooh, you in a bathing suit, and they're tomato red, and they're proud of it.
Proud of it.
Just everything's hanging out. It's a lot of fun.
Remember that in the movie, What About Mary? All About Mary? Something About Mary. And there was an older woman in there who was just leathery.
And she was always holding
and she was always
up to her
outside.
face.
Yeah, loved that.
I used to do things like that when I was younger, so that's why my tanning days are over.
You've learned.
I have.
You've learned. Not good for you.
A little too late. But anyway, yeah, so every time we talk about note-taking apps, we get a flood of responses from people.
Well, there's a flood of note-taking apps.
There are so many, and people really do use their iPads to take notes. And it's like, you think taking notes, gosh, it's kind of boring. It's like just a legal pad type of thing. But there's so many reasons people take notes. I mean, if you're researching something, if you're in school, if you're, what do you use note-taking apps for the most?
I think that is that's one of the things we're going to highlight in this conversation is that there are different uses. If you're taking notes in a school during a lecture, taking notes of something that's going on, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but what I use something like Evernote for is keeping track of the little bits of information that, things like where did I park the car when I drove to the airport, or it's funny, I had a little rear ender in the Mustang. I was sad the Twit Mustang got a little dinged in San Francisco.
Was it your fault?
No, it was rear-ended.
Oh dear.
In fact, when I said I was rear-ended in San Francisco, I think people a little bit misunderstood what I was saying there. But what happened was
18th and Castro, huh?
what happened was I stopped at a red light and the guy behind me didn't, for reasons we don't really understand.
Probably looking at his phone.
I'm sure he was looking at his phone or his iPad. I'm sure he was. He jumped out of the car and said, "My fault." And I said, "Yes, it is." So anyway, what did I use my my iPhone for? You could do it with the iPad too, but I snapped a picture of the damage on both cars, of his insurance certificate, of the intersection, and I stored it in Evernote so that I have a copy of it, and I sent that off to the insurance company.
That's great. Gosh, so much easier.
That's kind of another use for note-taking. That's a little different, I think, than note-taking at an event.
Absolutely. One of the more recent note-taking apps that has come to market is Moleskine.
Moleskine.
I'm now
You're not going to say it like
Moleskine
that, right?
because
I told you to.
Well, you started to say it that way, and I thought, oh wow, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Because I've always said Moleskine.
Turns out I was wrong.
Well, we're both wrong or right, depending on who you ask.
They're just. I think they're just a little bit dodging the bullet in this. This is the video from
their website.
The company which shall remain nameless.
I guess. It's
Moleskine.
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 Moleskine. Moleskine.
Moleskine. Moleskine.
But they're all Italian. Of course they pronounce it like that.
They got a few Scandinavians in
The
there.
Americans say moleskin.
Moleskine.
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 So you're more Italian.
A
than me.
moleskin is something you put on your foot.
I don't know. I whatever. I actually, a lot of people sent in this video, so thank you for that.
Everybody wanted to help us.
Well, they wanted to help, but it's like I kind of got irked by the video because it's like, well, just okay.
Tell us
internally when you're at company meetings. How do you say it?
Tell us.
Do you really just go Moleskine?
They changed their tune because they used to say. I've been around a while. They used to say it's Moleskine or Moleskine. Because they didn't want it to be moleskin, which is what it looks like.
That's terrible.
It's spelled Moleskine. Because that's that soft piece of cloth that you put on your toe so you don't get bunions.
Gross.
Now, the reason we mentioned the Moleskine or Moleskine is because they got it for the iPad.
Yeah,
now.
there's a new iPad app.
That is a terrible picture of you.
Thank you. I know. I took it in this very studio. It was not one of my better
Looks
ones.
like a bad facelift. Like you can't relax now.
Well, it takes a while once you get a facelift for it to relax, and that was week 1.
Week 1.
So
now
I
look
wasn't.
how she looks just rested.
Look at me now.
She looks natural, rested, and you'd
It's
never know
almost
she's
like this is
73
really
years
my
old.
Skin.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
Not in
amazing.
74.
Yeah, it's
I had a
amazing.
birthday in Hawaii last week.
Did you? Happy?
No.
We missed your birthday?
No, and I'm not 74. I'm 65, and I'm going to retire.
Don't look a day over 30.
Okay, so here's my problem with Moleskine is that it is. And by the way, first of all, it only works in portrait mode, as you can see. So there's no landscape mode, which annoys me off the bat.
Yeah.
Because I like to hold my iPad the way that I like to hold it.
I agree.
But, okay, fine. So let's say you're going to start a new thought. So you've got your name thought area, you've got your categories, you've got paper styles, and you can go plain, squared, ruled. I went with ruled for mine.
They're really going
and then you've
off
got
of
sharing options.
the paper notebook Moleskine. I mean, it's really just what you could get in a Moleskine.
And it actually is, I wrote some stuff. I added a picture. All that stuff is available if you it's almost like in Google Maps, where you swipe underneath and you get more options. So you've got images where you can add an image from a library, add a label, change colors, change background colors. If I wanted to, sketch, for example, I could sketch a pink whatever.
So you can draw in it.
Yeah, you can, and that's kind of.
I think a notepad should have both text and art, and I like it that you can embed a picture in it.
Yeah, if I was looking at notes, for example, and I wanted to.
Can you change the font, or does it have to be Comic Sans?
You can change the font.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. I think that if you read some of the app reviews in the App Store, people are bristly a little bit because it doesn't really work the way many other note-taking apps work.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. This is like
You're having trouble with the UI
undo
right
and
now.
redo. Well, it's because
it is
I'm
free.
trying to go back. Here, there you go. It is free, and here's where you would keep all of your categories, right? I've got Legendary Notebook here. This is actually, whoops. Oh, well, we just got a crash on the show, so take that however you will.
It's not getting a good review at this point.
Yeah, so there's.
I gotta say, I'm underwhelmed. I did download it because along with you, I wanted to do. Look, it comes with Ernest Hemingway.
Well, it's the whole sort of.
That's the fake Moleskine story.
The background, is not a real story?
No, it's fake.
Well, that's silly.
I think.
You've got a help menu, which
nice.
gives you some.
That's nice.
This is the thing, is that I feel as though sometimes app reviews in the store are a little unfair because you can tell that just no one looked at the help menu. It's kind of like if you want to invest the time in learning what all of the functions mean, it's not like the app doesn't work. It just might not be intuitive based on any other app or note-taking app that you may have used in the past. I think it's interesting. I certainly don't like it as much as the next app we're talking about, which was actually sent in by Chris Niles. He's a senior at BYU.
I think this is one of my favorites, actually.
Oh, I know why this cover keeps falling off. There's a bobby pin.
See, it just sucks metal
Picking up
from everywhere.
everything.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I bet all day it's like, why is this smart cover not very smart today? Yeah, so Chris is a senior at BYU. He's studying biology.
So he uses this to take lecture notes.
Lecture notes, and also he's taking biochem classes, so he's doing a lot of he's got to sketch out almost like math problems half the time. And this, he says, Notability has just kind of turned into his number one note-taking app.
I've used this for some time, and notice the microphone. You can record.
You can. Yeah, and in fact, so I just kind of put this silly note together. So when you, let me get that. There you go. When you start a note, it'll give you the date up at the top, which of course you can change if you want. You can add a subject. This is my title. I put in a picture. I wrote a little something. But what I also did was I took some voice notes. And what's cool is that let's imagine that you're in a lecture hall, right? And so these little red slashes indicate where you have recorded. So let me just skip through.
So you'll get the notes from what you've recorded.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't hear because the microphone's
text notes
not
are
up to mine.
tied to the audio, which I think is really great.
And if you were in a lecture hall and you were just recording snippets here or there,
and writing notes now and
writing
again.
notes, then you could go back in your dorm room or your home office or whatever and have a much better, clear indication of the notes that you were trying to leave yourself.
I've used this to record board meetings, taking notes during the board meeting, and now I have an audio of the board meeting as well as the textual notes.
Because sometimes, even if you wrote notes based on something that someone said, it can be a little confusing later. Even the best note takers in the world are like, well, you know, the nice thing that Chris had pointed out about Notability
is my favorite thing you're about to show. Maybe not. What are you going to show?
Well, I was going to show...
That's what you're going to show, and I like that part.
Oh, that.
You can get it out.
Yes.
So many times I've made recordings, and I can't do anything with it.
Exactly. You can email it. You can send it.
Dropbox.
Dropbox, iDisk, WebDAV, which I wasn't even familiar with, but apparently is a way for you to upload stuff to your own server easily, and so on and so forth. You can print if you have an AirPrint-enabled printer, but you could probably get around that with one of the printing apps
I really think that this is kind of critical, because you could take notes, but if you can't get those notes out of the iPad conveniently, I don't think it's very valuable, but this really is very flexible.
What Chris actually liked, what he said was the best with Notability, and it's not that other note-taking apps don't do this, but they don't do it as easily, is he likes to take notes in outline form. So he's all about indentation and bullet points and this and that. So this is, you know, if you're just writing something and you want to go ahead and be able to indent and add more notes underneath. You know, it's just based on
basic outlining.
Yeah, it's just based on the way that people are comfortable. I used to love doing this in college. Everything was there were lots of arrows and bullet points, and it was kind of crazy. In fact, he even sent in, it's in our MobileMe account, he sent in a copy of one of his note sessions.
Look at these. I mean, this is really nice. I mean, he's obviously he's really. He's doing the drawings.
This is just I mean, he made a PDF
very
that
handy.
he sent to me from Notability, which is like, I mean, he's writing stuff. He's got like homework is due on Thursday type of thing. And then he's got his graphic that he had to sketch where he's like, he actually sent us a nice long email about how he feels like the iPad is just the way to go in college because he used to have a MacBook, and it's like, how do I make that with a MacBook? I can't. I have to have a notebook next to my MacBook.
And if you put it in Dropbox, then the notes are automatically on your Mac or your PC, and you can work with them there. I think I would say this is my choice too. If what you're doing is taking live notes, it's free, really, completely free.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good deal.
I think so.
You don't have to buy. You know, I'm seeing more and more in-app purchase capabilities. Like, oh well, we won't do this or that unless.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. 99 cents.
99 cents. Okay.
Not free.
Hey,
still good deal.
Here's
though.
$1. It's free now.
Right.
I'll give you $1. That was the iPad 2 launch sale, so they may go up in time.
I see.
Yeah.
I actually. It's funny when I was saying free because I had written free in my notes, which is not right. I was like, how's this free? It's too good.
Yeah.
It's still really good for $1.
Cheap.
Because Hypernote, which is something that you've been playing around with, is $2.99.
Yeah, and I'll show you that.
$3 is probably a little bit more than median price.
Again, it has to do with the applicability, and I think it would behoove us to mention before I move to Hypernote that there are many choices on the Macintosh or the iPad, including the Notes program that comes with the iPad, syncs via iTunes, so you can get the notes out there. Evernote, which we've mentioned again and again, that's not some. You could take class notes in it and do all of those things, and it supports audio and it automatically syncs. It supports pictures, so it has many of those same features. But it's not tuned to taking notes during a live event so much as just storing snippets.
I feel like it's more organizational.
Yeah, I agree with
overall.
you. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
and I use
great.
it, but I'm not sure. I've tried using it for. Oh, I haven't signed in. I'll have to sign in. I've tried using it for taking notes at meetings. And here's Simple Notes. This is nice because it works with it works with Dropbox and will sync up with Notational Velocity on the Macintosh. So I use Notational Velocity. It's a fabulous note-taking program on the desktop. This works with it. It's called Simple Notes. So if Merlin Mann recommended this to me. He said if you're going to, and Andy Anako, if you're going to use Notational Velocity, there's Plain Text, which is Dropbox-based and is very simple and beautiful. I use this for my to-do lists because I use to-do.text and Gina Trapani's program. So you can see there's lots of different programs for different things. This one I think is very interesting. This is called Hypernote, and it does take. You see, this is the toolbar here.
My first reaction is they're wasting real estate on the screen because of that
it's kind of
curve.
fancy.
But I guess you've got to make. You've got to look different, however you can, right?
Yeah, this is the help note. So you can see that the document. This is the document toolbar. The help note is actually a good example of what you can do because you have something called assisted drawing, which lets you do squares, round shapes.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll show you the assisted drawing because it's pretty fun. So I can draw a line very simply, and it will turn it into a line, and that becomes an object which I can then, move around and change. And I think I can move around and change. Oh, there we go.
You probably have an option
I can
to
move it front to back.
lock it.
So if you've used Visio or OmniGraffle, which is available on the iPad, OmniGraffle is, you'll see this is kind of like a mini version of that. You have these smart shapes which are very interesting. They have a bunch of libraries. So it's kind of funny. Like I want to do a printer. It's a down and then an around. Now
my gosh.
Watch this. Watch this. It's kind of wild. I do a down. Oh, I got to draw it here. I do a down and around.
And you got a big old... Whoa!
Now I can resize that. Actually, that's not what I wanted. That's a cell phone. But you see what happens. Oh, double tap to edit. Okay. And I could say cell...
So there's a bit of a learning curve on here, too.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played with it that long. But I was pretty impressed. The capabilities in here, it's got freehand drawing as well. And you can double tap it and see... or rather, long tap it and see different tools.
I like the kind of cool shorthand keystroke.
Well,
but it's freeform.
The stuff that he was doing with Notability was completely freeform, and while that's cool, this gives you a little bit more of. And I should show you the libraries.
It would certainly clean up your notes a bit if you were willing to invest the time into committing to memory these shortcuts. That would be pretty cool. Instead of having a shaky arrow because you had too much coffee, you've got that nice perfect arrow.
Remember we're giving the bricks away, we're going to sell bricks for the Twit brick house. Look at this. All I have to, I wish I'd known this. I could just go like this. And then I get a brick wall. Look at that.
Why would you want that?
See? I don't know.
I'm just trying to understand.
Because you're doing, let's say, this is actually something we're actively doing right now. We're doing a layout for our technology. And this is exactly, there's the cloud. Should I draw a cloud? Look, it's a puffy little cloud. It's so cute.
I mean, is it brick because like it's supposed to represent a
wall.
A bricked laptop?
It's a wall.
Okay.
So let me remember the puffy little cloud. Here it is. It's a circle. So
look beyond the wall.
You do a circle and this, and you get a cloud. Okay, maybe it's not. It takes a little getting used to.
Bit of a learning curve.
I just like the idea. That's called Hypernote. It's not very expensive. It's like you said, $4.
Hypernote might be a really good candidate for a nice stylus. One of the
you certainly
iPad
benefit from that.
styli. Yeah. By the way, we're not going to talk about styli on this show because we just only have so much time. Note-taking, it's a really broad
I want to
category.
do it with my finger, though. I don't want to have to carry a stylus around.
Well, I don't either, but some people really do like them. Because it gives you more precision, and especially if you're doing anything that's kind of artsy. Or so we understand that is definitely something to be covered. It's just not going to be covered in this particular episode. Another app that I'm not familiar with at all. I've never even heard of it.
This is another one of my picks, and I picked it because it focuses on outlining. So this is called ThinkBook, and you can see it's the bullet points. It has some interesting features in terms of usability for reorganization and so forth. I think that this is really more of an organizational tool than a very powerful note-taking tool. It does have Dropbox. You notice I keep saying Dropbox. Elements, plain text, Notability. If it doesn't have Dropbox, as far as I'm concerned, it's just too hard to get your data in and out of it.
I don't even really know why we're not using Dropbox on this show. Why do I keep sending stuff to MobileMe and making it hard on us?
I use Dropbox. We have a Dropbox account.
Let's do that.
All right.
Going forward.
See? Forget it. Let's just talk about Dropbox now. So you can back it up to Dropbox. You can get it from Dropbox. They've really done a job about making this more about organization. You see, you have folders and so forth, tagging. It's again. I think the idea here is we wanted to show you a variety of tools with a variety of different capabilities, and this is something for people who are particularly organization focused.
This looks very kind of anal retentive.
Yeah, I wasn't going to use that, but that's exactly right.
I just said it.
You said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for instance, I want to insert here. What do I do? Well, I slide this thing around, and that's where it's going to insert the next note.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we talk about precision.
It's a precise tool.
Our friend Chris at BYU might like something like this as well because
you could put to-do lists in here. See, there's a checkbox. I can put a question in here and then the answer.
Oh,
so there's some interesting features.
A lot of these apps, I feel like people take notes and write reminders to themselves and put together documents for so many different reasons. You just have to get familiar with...
Choose the ones.
I mean, you don't want to waste money buying every app in the App Store.
Right.
But
Well, that's why we wanted to show you a few that had different capabilities.
Exactly.
I think if I had to pick one, I'd say Notability, absolutely, and
Notability
Evernote,
was really
because
nice.
Evernote is so cross-platform. I use Evernote on every single thing, on my iPhone, my iPad, my Mac,
Everything.
my Windows machine, my Android devices. It just works everywhere, and that's really nice to have that everywhere.
Wanted to quickly, like I said, we got a lot of emails from you guys, just a little viewer email that I thought was worth mentioning. We have talked about this app in the past. This is Larry Jacobson from Cheyenne, Wyoming, who says, my favorite note-taking app continues to be Penultimate. I've purchased several, but this is the best. It's the closest thing to a sheet of paper. I use it to teach guitar lessons. I email a copy of the lesson to both student and myself at the end of the lesson while they're sitting in my
good idea.
teaching room.
Yeah.
I prefer it because with a stylus, which he uses, I can draw diagrams as well as personalized lessons tailored to each student's specific needs. I do it on the fly. It's the best simulation of a notepad that I've found, and I use it as a mini whiteboard when teaching clinics and seminars. So thanks, Larry. We have talked about it in the past. Leo loves Penultimate.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's nice to know what people are using note-taking for. For example, teaching guitar lessons wouldn't have come up for me. But for Larry, it's,
Well, that's interesting,
it's a
isn't
big
it?
deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are a few of our note-taking apps for this show. Again, we will revisit this topic because really good note-taking apps that we've talked about several times, like Evernote, keep getting updated and keep getting better.
Yeah,
In
Evernote
fact,
just got updated too.
Yeah, they did.
3.0 is a big
In
improvement.
fact, and then they did some bug fixes just I think within the last week, so it's as stable as it's ever been.
Right.
But if you want all the links to this latest round, you know where you can find them. But if you don't, it's at twit.tv/IPT. That's also where you can watch any of our past episodes. You can subscribe to all of our shows. If you just want them downloaded in the background without even thinking about when we're on live and when new shows come out, you can just do that straight from our website. But if you do want to watch live and you're not watching live right now,
why not?
Why not? Just tune in on Thursdays, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. And again, if you have app ideas of your own, please send them to us because we'd love to know what you guys are into. That email address is iPadtoday@twit.tv.
I'm just logging into this new Evernote. I realize now why it wants me to log in because they updated it, and so I'm just going to log in there and I can show you some of the features as it is right now. What it's doing, because it's fresh and I just logged in, is it's downloading all these notes, hundreds and hundreds of notes that I've collected over the years, and that's one of the things I love about Evernote. See, it's all there now. Everything that I've ever taken a note on.
When did Evernote launch? I mean, 2006
years ago.
or something?
Yeah, and
maybe
it was,
even earlier.
maybe even it was intended really for Windows as a competitor to OneNote. And they did a little pivot, and they changed into this kind of cross-platform notes everywhere thing.
I've never
I just
heard
love
it. There are either people who don't use Evernote or people who are like, I couldn't be without it.
Oh yeah. Well, look at
It's
this.
the DVR of the web.
I take pictures of menus. This is in Chile. This was the wine list, and I wanted to write down a bunch of wines. So just take a picture of it, and now it's in my Evernote.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's that kind of thing. It just saves you so much time, and the searching and tagging makes it very quick to find it. My son's lacrosse team. I can never remember anybody's number. So I have that, and because it's on my phone, I just pull out my phone, and there's the lacrosse roster. So it's very easy. Things like that. It's that kind of thing. It's storing tidbits. Hey, let's take a break and come back with more on iPad Today. I want to tell you about our friends at Citrix who make a great product. Yes, it's on the iPad. It's on the Mac. It's on Windows. It's called Go to My PC. And the new Go to My PC on the iPad is fantastic. Lets you access your Windows or Mac machine from anywhere on your iPad. And if you've never run Windows on an iPad, it's a real interesting experience. They've managed to make the touch so that it works very well with the Windows interface, with the mouse, with the keyboard, and so forth. Easy to set up. It's free. You just go to the App Store and you got Go to My PC on your iPad. And now go to the PC or Mac that you want to access, because you always have a home-based computer that you're logging into, and go to gotomypc.com go to mypc.com, click the Try It Free button, and enter the code iPad Today. You'll have it free for 30 days, and you can play with it. And it's so fantastic. You don't need any help from the IT department, no port forwarding. It just does it automatically, and suddenly you're able to access your computer on the road, at home, anywhere you want to just quickly check an email, get a file, anything you need to do. Go to My PC is fantastic. So try it right now. And if you do, please use iPad Today as the promo code so we get credit for it. Go to mypc.com/iPad Today. We thank Citrix for their support.
I don't know if it's /iPad Today or just the offer code.
Yeah, no slash. Did I say slash?
You did.
Go to my PC, click the try it free button, and enter iPad Today. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for catching
Well,
it.
it's fine. I'm
so used to saying slash because it used to be a URL.
Sometimes we start with an
Not
offer
anymore.
code, and then the company will be like, let's
try
make
it this
a custom URL.
Let's
So
confuse
it's an
everybody and
honest
change
mistake.
it. Yeah. No, they do change it. You know why they change it? They want to make sure that you heard the current ad, not some previous ad.
Ah, I see.
That's why they change it around.
Ah, they're keeping us honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Leo, I was on vacation last week, and
I noticed.
Yeah,
I sat down here on.
Where
I
is
sat down
she?
Thursday afternoon. I'm looking around. There's no one here.
Yeah, I know. I ran out on you, but I did make you work the previous Saturday, so
No, it worked
it
out
all
fine.
worked
We didn't
out.
miss a show.
So, News.me was launched.
What is
the
that? I don't
iPad
know.
app. That's. Yeah, have you not talked about News.me?
No.
You haven't?
No.
No show last
No.
week. You covered it?
No, I missed
Wow,
it.
I'm kind of surprised.
You knew more about what was going on in Hawaii on vacation than I did in real world.
Yeah, I it was kind of a big deal. Well, you know what this is?
I'm looking
It's an
at it.
app.
What is
it's
it?
a joint effort from the New York Times and Bitly to create.
Okay.
I know, crazy. So I'm actually looking at. Let's start
Is
at
it
the
their
beginning.
Flipboard version?
It is very Flipboard-esque, except here's the difference. Flipboard is, let's say, first of all, Flipboard is can be a lot of. You can have a lot of stuff flowing into Flipboard. This is only Twitter-based.
Okay.
However, it's not. If I'm following you, it's not all the things that you're tweeting about. It is only the tweets where you are linking to an outside source.
Does it have to be Bitly?
No.
Okay.
No, because that would be
stupid. Right.
No. That was my first question too. It doesn't have to be Bitly, but what it is if I want to read a bunch of material, I'm saying I trust Leo's opinions, so I trust the people that he's following
I agree.
and what he's then passing along.
Right.
So everyone will have a different news.me experience based on who they're following, and it strips out anything where you might. You know, Henry gets a hold of your Twitter account and says, "Hi, it's Henry." I'm not going to see that in here because you didn't link to any story.
Anything. When he said, "What's poppin'?"
It was funny. MG was like, "What is wrong with Leo?"
You know,
and I was like, "I don't. Sometimes he just gets weird." And I realized, no, it's just his son.
I did tweet hello during Twit because we were talking about anyway, I don't remember why, but there was a reason.
There was a reason.
And then Henry got a hold of it, and that was it.
So I don't want to go too much into this besides the fact that
I'm doing it right now.
you got to.
I'm signing into it right now.
News.me is interesting. The problem.
Actually, I'm not going to use my regular account,
Okay.
the Leo Laporte account. I could. But what I think I'll do
Following
is
too many people.
I have an account called Links for Twit that I use with Flipboard. You know, a lot of the apps on the iPad don't let you bookmark on Delicious or Pinboard, which is what I've been using lately.
Mm-hmm.
But they do let you tweet it. So what I did is I created a new account called Links for Twit, links_for_twit.
Yeah.
And that's that account's following a lot of news sources. So if I see something there and I retweet it, or I see it in Flipboard and I tweet it to that account, and then Pinboard picks up tweets from me and turns them into links. So it's
This
kind of
might
a
be
nice
good for this
system.
if you're following a lot of news sources.
Yeah.
The way that here's what's grinding some people's gears is, first of all, it's like, well, with Flipboard you can do this because you're seeing everyone's tweets, even the tweets that include an outside link to a news source.
Right.
But then you've also got Facebook and Instagram and Google Reader and blah blah blah. That's totally true. Flipboard is also free, and News.me is 99 cents a week. So there is a subscription model.
I have to pay for this?
Yes, you do.
They're not even contributing anything.
Well,
A week? 99 cents a week?
Yeah. And I think that has, well, I guess it depends. I don't know.
I don't get that.
Well, I don't either.
Why would I
actually.
pay for? I could see paying for it once, but Bitly's not doing any work. What's the weekly fee for?
You know, that's a really good question. Originally, I was thinking in my head,
If they were creating content-
it's because you can see New York Times articles without going beyond the paywall.
Can you?
But I don't think that it gets you around the 20 articles a month or whatever the cap is.
It's not paying for New York Times.
No.
If it were, it'd be a cheap way to get around it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, why would the New York Times do that to themselves?
Right.
Anyway, I'll have to get back to you on that. But in essence, it's a beautiful way to look at, if you're looking at my screen here, this is my friend Hunter. He works at YouTube, and he's always tweeting a bunch of cool news stories. So these are all the news stories that he has linked to.
I now understand because I'm reading the page.
What?
Subscribe now. Build through iTunes. You can cancel anytime. News Me charges a subscription fee to cover the costs of licensing content. So because this is created in conjunction with the New York Times,
I see.
What they don't like is the fact that, and Zeit's being sued, Tap2, Zeit, and Flipboard all scrape the content.
This is them not getting sued.
This is them saying, well, you should have to pay for it if you scrape content.
Uh-huh.
I disagree.
Well, whether you do or not.
If the New York Times puts it on the web, if this stuff's on the web, they're giving it away. I'm not going to pay an additional 99 cents to license it. A week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a fan of Flipboard that it's. What's interesting to me about these different ways to consume the news is like there's every way but sideways.
So now I have to do more work because it doesn't just automatically make a list of my Twitter account.
Because it's only people who you follow on Twitter who are also news.me subscribers. Otherwise,
there has to be other people paying for news.me?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. And then these are featured people. Well, a lot of these people are great. Dana Boyd.
Yeah, they're
Dyson,
it's sort of the
Fred Wilson.
suggested users list. Anyway, news.me, it's worth mentioning because it is yet another take on being able to absorb all of the news that everyone is sharing at any given time. It's a fun experience, but there is just something weird about
it. Also,
it's all things that people are linking to, but I mean, just because you link to something doesn't mean it's like a great news story. So you really have to be selective about who you're following.
Yeah.
Just a note, we have talked about Qwiki on, I don't think it was this show. I think it was Net at Night, maybe even last year. But they now have an iPad app.
They're a wiki application.
It's the multimedia.
No. Oh yeah, I like this.
Multimedia
Is it
wiki.
open to the public now?
Oh yeah, and it's also an iPad app. And your phone's ringing. It's really loud.
It's the T-Mobile ring. That's a bad sign. It's somebody I don't know.
Yeah. So, for example, if you wanted to...
I love this. This reads you entries.
Yeah. So it is based on Wikipedia.
Right.
So I mean, if I.
But it's more than just one article. So you entered Petaluma, so you're going to learn a lot about Petaluma, not just from Wiki.
Yeah.
A single
census.
article, but it adds stuff.
There's a woman's voice who reads us all too.
Yeah, I like
want.
this.
Yeah.
And this is free.
Yeah, it's really free.
So it's public now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Not only is it public online, this isn't just an iPad app. You can go to Qwiki, that's QWIKI.com.
You gave me an invite, and I think this is like one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, and as an iPad app, it makes a lot of sense.
This is an app cap. I'm surprised you gave this away.
Well, I just feel like we've
good.
talked about it before, so it's not as if I like my app cap. My app cap is a little bit more home and garden-y today.
Should I give me a topic to enter? Let me try Sarah Lane.
Okay.
I wonder if you're in here.
Oh, I'm in there.
Look, it suggests all the Sarahs I might be interested in.
Yeah, Sarah Palin.
Here's Sarah Lane. Sarah Christina Lane?
Yeah.
That's you?
Yeah.
Wow, look. And so watch, listen, it's going to read me something about you.
Yeah.
Sarah
Don't let it go to the
Lane
end.
is an American television and internet
I can't seem to get that off
personality.
Wikipedia.
She
If
is
anybody
most
is a
notably
Wikipedia
known for her
moderator,
appearances on Tech TV's
can
The
you just read my
Screensavers,
page and try to get it more up to date?
This is great.
Yeah, so that was like the screensaver set down at G4 when we first moved. I mean, I had totally forgotten about that.
It throws this stuff in.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah, it's neat.
Here, should I do me?
Yeah, do you?
Okay.
Co-hosts the Daily Technology.
Let's do
Leo.
Leo Tolstoy, Pope Leo. L-A-P, there we go. Let's see what it says. Leo Laporte.
Leo Gordon Laporte is an American technology broadcaster,
You can listen to the
author,
lady's voice.
and entrepreneur.
We are
A former
listening.
resident of Providence, Rhode Island, he now lives in Petaluma,
54?
California,
Wow.
with his wife Jennifer and two children,
Thanks.
Abby
I'm
and
just
Henry.
kidding.
Laporte has created.
I look good for my age, don't I?
Was you and Amber?
Yeah, arm wrestling.
Broadcasting projects. He created and co-hosted Dvorak on Computer.
Now, see, this, I don't know how much of this is from Wikipedia and how much is it from other sources and so forth. And then I love it that John C. Dvorak shows up.
Yeah, I know.
I can't get away from him.
Well, it's funny.
Laporte
People
hosted
who
a
are
live stream from his
This is good. I like Qwiki, and I'm really glad that they've made it in an iPad app.
it's not perfect. I was looking at my own biography and going, oh, okay, that's interesting. I mean, there's There's weird stuff that it highlights because it has just data on that, and it's not necessarily what I would consider the best overview, but maybe I'm biased because it's me type of thing.
Well, it's always
going
to do a worse job with you, right?
Right, exactly.
You know the truth.
But, well, for people... Yeah, I mean, for people who are...
Does it mention the part where you're actually a man? Does it say that at the end?
Yeah, and that's why I'm upset.
I hate it when it does
I wish that they wouldn't talk about that, but you can't edit your own Wikipedia page. So I'm stuck
So if somebody
with it.
would just go in there and edit that part out.
That's right. That would be so helpful. No, actually, the only thing that... Because I can't update my page, and the only thing that bothers me is there's certain stuff on Twit that I'm doing that it doesn't say, and so I just... At some point, I hope somebody...
Oh, look, you just have made a call to many people who watch the show, our Wikipedia editors. They will be fixing your page now.
Well, isn't that nice? Thank you very much.
Thank you in advance.
Yes.
So that's Qwiki, news.me.
That's
a couple
Qwiki.
of good new apps.
Yeah.
And now, our iPad Today.
Stars of the Week. We haven't had these in a while, Leo,
dear.
and I know that you've been missing them.
Oh, dear.
So I thought we'd start with a kind of crossbreed that we have not been familiar with in the past. This is Louis. He's 5 months old, and he's a Beagle. Do you know what a Beagle is?
No.
English Bulldog Beagle mix.
Oh.
Beagle. He's cute.
He looks more bulldoggy than Beagle, but he's got Beagle ears.
Well, he's
I guess.
3/4 English Bulldog,
Yeah, I'd say
1/4
that.
Beagle.
Just a little bit of Beagle.
And his parents are Jenny and Larry, and they sent in some evidence that Louis likes iPads, and he likes to be an iPad stand. It's not just for cats.
That Beables make excellent... They wobble, but they don't fall down. They make excellent iPad stands.
And then I just had to highlight Snowball and Gus. They are two beautiful felines.
I don't have a picture of them, do I?
It's in the dock. There's a link.
It's in the dock.
Yes, the dock.
Oh, the dock.
I know. The dock.
I see it.
The dock of law.
let me run over to the... What are they up to?
Well, they're just chilling. So the reason that I thought that you might not scoff at this picture as you usually do is because they're playing We Rule.
They're playing We Rule.
Yes.
It's a nice We Rule.
This is Brad Keller. He's their human. Snowball is the iPad stand. Gus is just kind of chilling down with the feet.
Doesn't Snowball look like she's saying, "Why the hell are you farming? Shouldn't you be giving me food?
Or will you get this thing off of me? Yeah. I never asked for this. You should be paying me a subscription of 99 cents per week.
I don't
very
like
least.
it. I've never liked it, and I'm not going to act like I do."
No, that's right. So those are our iPad Stars of the Week. Thanks, everybody. We haven't highlighted any of them in a while, and
You're
always sending in your cute animals, and I just feel bad. So there you have it. You've guilted me into bringing this in.
I did try to skip past it, folks. I just wanted to go on record.
Also, we have an Ask Leo question, and this is from, now, talk about blast from the past. This is from Nancy Jacoby, who says, by the way, you both worked with my daughter, Lindsay Arendt. She used to anchor at Tech TV.
How could we forget Lindsay?
Lindsay
I love
Arendt's
Lindsay.
mother, Nancy Jacoby, wrote
Hi,
in.
Nancy. We
Hi,
love
Nancy.
Lindsay. What is Lindsay up to?
I know. I would love to know.
She was
I used to
great.
remember she had the cutest glasses.
Loved her glasses.
She was so...
Yeah.
She was just smart and awesome.
Smart, wore glasses.
So
That's
Nancy
about all I
has a few
remember.
questions. She can't decide whether to get an AT&T or Verizon iPad. She says she and her husband live in an area better served by Verizon than AT&T, although most of their usage will be on Wi-Fi. She's also grandfathered into AT&T's unlimited usage plan. Should she stick with it for that reason? She says, I know when we're in Europe that only the AT&T 3G will function.
Yeah, but you don't want to use it
But
in
I'm
Europe.
guessing we'd mostly be at Wi-Fi
it's
at
be
hotels.
very expensive, yeah.
And then she knows also that there's that rumor that AT&T is faster than Verizon. But if it is it really a lot faster? Because we don't do a lot of gaming, but we do watch movies and we want to download stuff before we travel.
Well, speaking of somebody who has had an AT&T iPad 1 and has an Verizon iPad 2, there isn't that much difference.
No.
AT&T is faster.
Yes.
If you're not in a crowded area where there are a lot of AT&T users. I think the single most important thing she said is that she is grandfathered into her unlimited AT&Ts. If you are, stick with it because you want to keep that. Sarah showed us a couple of weeks ago how to take the SIM out and make that grandfathered account move over to the new iPad.
Yeah.
You do want to do that. You do not want to give that up. That's worth it. And yes, it will work in Europe. Remember, you're going to have big data roaming charges. unless you contact AT&T ahead of time and you buy an international plan, and even then it's expensive. But if you think, you might be on the road somewhere and you don't know where you are and you just want to quickly fire up the iPad to get a location fix, a map, there is something convenient about that, and only the AT&T iPad will be able to do that overseas. So stick with it. Lindsay now works for Bloomberg.
Because you hate me.
No, I don't hate you.
Lindsay works for Bloomberg, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Gosh, have you seen the West Coast Bloomberg offices in San Francisco?
Are they nice?
They're ridiculously nice. Got to go in there one of these days.
Are they in high def streaming on an iPad?
No.
No, because if, really the only...
Actually, if they're Slingbox, they would be.
If they were Slingbox, they would be. That's why I want everybody to run out to the store. You go to Best Buy or Amazon.com and pick up a Slingbox. You know what a Slingbox is, right? The whole deal with a Slingbox is you get this box called a Slingbox.
Yeah.
Some calls it a Slingbox.
You don't sling it around. You just got to put it down.
No, do not sling it around, but do attach it to your home theater system. So on this system, we've got it attached to the Dish network. So there's Dish on Demand, the DVR, the cable box if you've got a cable box, whatever you've got. And then you can watch on your iPad, on your iPhone, your iPod Touch with Wi-Fi, Android, any Mac or PC, laptop, everywhere you go, you can watch TV. I mean, this is just remarkable. So and we're going to see in a second, we're going to see how high quality this is. Slingbox gives you good, high quality, high def over the internet. So why would you want to do that? Well, first of all, you're paying a lot of money, aren't you, for your TV setup? Well, take it with you everywhere you go. Why subscribe to other
what if you're paying $100 a month and you're only home to watch TV a couple nights a week?
Exactly.
But you've got time. What if you travel a lot, or you're taking care of your mom, or there's so many reasons that you would be away from home on a regular basis.
Right.
But you want to take advantage of that nice cable package that you bought for yourself.
And it looks good. I'm telling you, high def. I'm doing the. I'm fighting with the person here.
Is it your wife?
No,
Your
can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
This Slingbox that we use is the corporate Slingbox, not my personal Slingbox. So actually,
oh my gosh,
I'm fighting with somebody at the Slingbox corporate offices.
Oh, that's funny.
Right now.
I love the story that you've been feeding us for the last several weeks.
I've been kind of pretending it's my wife, but no, it's not.
Oh.
She wouldn't. She should be honest.
So someone at the Slingbox office has been watching Real Housewives then.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to bust them, to be honest with you. So now they're listening to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers here.
Oh, how nice.
But you see, this is the beauty of this. You have access to your channel guide, to everything, so you can actually, anything that you could do at home, you're doing, and this is on the Slingbox. Now, the problem is, just so you understand, when I do this, it screws them up. Only one person at a time can do it. And so we're in a little battle, a Slingbox battle.
Maybe the people at Slingbox can be like, iPad today's about to start. And
I thought that might be a good idea, but I think they forgot.
Yeah.
I think they forgot that we do the show at 1:30.
It's funny to see
just like I forgot to record.
That people actually, people forget.
I can't hold that against them.
I forget to put my socks on in the morning.
Do you?
Yes. Well, I remember eventually, but I just forget. It's like you walk around in circles, and sometimes you just forget something. You forget to eat or whatever. It's interesting that people use their cable to listen to music. I've always wondered about who are the people who are listening to those 100 stations of just music.
You can do that too, by the way, on the Slingbox.
Right, well, somebody is doing that at Slingbox headquarters right now. They're listening to Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Nothing wrong with it, by the way. I just wonder who does it.
Now you know why they would do that.
Well, it's like Sirius, I guess.
Slingbox, it is actually, in some cases, it is Sirius.
Yeah.
Actually. Slingbox, if you've got a Roku box, you can do that on this too. So anything you could do on any of your devices, you're taking it with you.
Cool.
I'll tell you where I like it. If I'm the
channel, or like it deflects the wind, so it creates a vortex over it, and you stay pinned to the ground.
I guess this is tornado
That's
information.
an awesome idea.
I don't know.
It's some other show.
Somebody's serious tornado information in
the
there.
Loft Press info.
Yeah.
Are they? I think those guys are cool. Okay. Have you ever watched Mythbusters? Yeah.
Hey, be quiet. We're trying to do a show. Pipe down, other radio people.
Meanwhile, the people in the Slingbox office are saying, how did these guys get on? I was listening to Tom Petty. Slingbox is actually the greatest technology. If you go to a ball game, I'm going to be going to a Giants game on Friday. I can tell you right now, the iPad's coming with me while I'm scoring the game. If I want, I can switch over to the Slingbox, watch the replay. It's just so great. If you're at a line at DMV and you're bored, you whip out your iPhone, you watch TV. It's just so great. It is the necessary adjunct for your iPad, your iPhone, your laptop. If you travel, if you're just not always home but you want to watch your TV, go to Best Buy or Amazon or go to slingbox.com and find out more. Slingbox! It's a cool invention.
David in Honolulu had written us because we had a conversation in episode 42 about the poor guy who was having Wi-Fi issues with his iPad 2.
Oh, yes.
And David actually, he did a little trial and error and found something out. He said, like the caller in episode 42, I had issues with my brand new iPad 2's Wi-Fi connection dropping every few minutes and then not reconnecting. Like Leo, I thought it was an issue with signal strength, but it was happening right when I was sitting next to my router.
That's not good.
So I did some research, and I discovered that the iPad doesn't like routers set to support mixed speeds. My router was set to support 802.11a through n. The iPad supports 802.11n. My desktop PC only supports 802.11g, so I set my router to 802.11g only. Voila, my iPad now has rock-solid Wi-Fi connection, even at 1 bar when I'm upstairs in my bedroom, far from my router. I'm not sure if this is a bug with the iPad's network, or if it was just my cheapo Netgear router. Whatever the case, I'm now able to enjoy Wi-Fi.
Awesome.
So it's interesting. The iPad wants you to set something.
That makes
sense. It doesn't want you to have a range.
That makes sense.
There you go. If that's your problem.
Good tip.
Yeah, and if that's something that you have control over, please try to fix it. Shall we?
We've got a call. This is from Mark in Albuquerque.
Yeah, he's a book lover.
Hi, Sarah, Leo. This is Mark out of Albuquerque. Got a quick question. I got my wife a Kindle for Christmas. I have an iPad, and I think I know the answer, but I wanted to hear you all say it. Is there a way, 2 questions actually, is there a way to exchange ebooks between the iPad and the Kindle? I think the answer is no, but just, wishing. And the other thing is, have we gotten to the point where we can donate our ebooks to libraries? We do that with the real books. Why not electronic? Thanks a lot from Albuquerque, the land of enchantment. By the way, get a ham radio show.
We are.
33. Bye.
We're going to.
We are?
Yeah, he says 33 by. Yeah, Bob Heil's going to do a Ham Nation. It's going to be our ham radio show, and it will launch soon. Stay tuned.
How fun.
For details. So there's a couple of, his answer actually is better than he thought.
Yeah.
First of all, you can loan Kindle books. Eligible Kindle books, that means the publisher has to say it's eligible. I'm reading from the Kindle FAQ. Can be loaned once per book, kind of dorky, and only for a period of 2 weeks. It will work on the iPad if you use the Kindle app. That's right. And you can share it to her account, but the publisher or the rights holder has to say that's okay. I'll be honest, what we do, we have one Kindle account, and I have many Kindles and iPads, and I make sure that the iPad's logged into that Kindle account.
Right.
So my wife reads a book. She buys it on her iPad. I can read it on my iPad. I can read it on my Kindle. I can read it on the
You
laptop.
can authorize up to 5 devices to play.
That makes sense.
To
that makes
offer
sense.
the book
Although
that you buy.
I've got it on a ton of devices, I haven't noticed any restriction yet. But that makes sense that they wouldn't do unlimited number of devices.
Right.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of like, it sounds like as long as they don't want to be reading it at the same time.
Even then, you can do that.
Can you?
Yeah. Because I have it on my iPad and you have it on your iPad. We both have the Kindle app. We both are logged into the same Kindle account. We can
so it doesn't care.
Because it downloads it. No, it downloads the book.
Well,
you know where you could get in trouble? You're right. The WhisperNet, which automatically syncs up all of your books to the same page.
Right.
That would
That's
be
what
bad.
I'm thinking, that
no,
you could be going
right.
back from page 30
I don't know
to
if you can
75.
I don't know if you can turn that off. If you can, then it's okay. But if you can't, then you're going to be jumping around
That makes more sense than, I mean, the loaning feature is okay, but if there's a good reason that you're not going to be able to get through the book in 2 weeks, then it's like just one person read the book, and then you can get the book on the other device too. I think that's what he means by exchanging, because it's you just want to read the book on two
you can lend.
devices.
And so that's sometimes people want to lend books, and that's one of the negatives of ebooks that have copy protection, as the Kindle books do, is that you can't really lend them out as you would a regular paper
But can you donate them to libraries?
Not that I know of.
I have not heard of that either, although that's a really good idea, Mark. I'm not really sure why, if you were to buy an ebook, there wouldn't be a good way to donate it. I mean, libraries also have their own loan model that, well, it varies from library to library, but that's got sort of its own set of restrictions as well.
Right, yeah.
So I think...
Book publishers are very skittish about this because, as you know, with the ebooks, you can...
Well, because it's not a book. It's a file. Right. You know, it's an infinitely copyable file.
So I'm looking here. It doesn't look like I can turn off the Whisper Net, which syncs up books. So you're right. You wouldn't want to read...
You couldn't read the same book at the same time unless you were like synchronizing your page turning, which is...
Stop, honey. Wait till I catch up.
Which is... Oh, I can't imagine that being
these
fun.
are the books that are downloaded on my iPad, but then I have a lot of books in my library that I've read. So any of these I can download at any time. And if Jennifer logs into her Kindle app in the same account, she'll see the same set of books, can download them and read the books. So it's kind of cool.
You know, it's interesting. In our chat room, someone said publishers would never allow donating to libraries for ebooks. And it's like, that. It's too bad because books can be donated and are happily accepted.
I agree.
I mean, you can, it's encouraged, really. I mean, what else are you going to do with books that you're never going to read again type of a thing? So it's a shame, but it is, again, it's kind of complicated. But, Mark, if we do find anything that sounds like what you're looking for, we'll be sure to mention it on an upcoming show because that's a great idea. People should be donating. You know, Gazelle should that would
take
donated ebooks. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's the real issue here. Is you know, when I buy a paper book, my wife does this all the time. She'll buy a book, read it, and give it to a friend.
Yeah.
And that friend will give it to a friend. Now, of course, that costs the book publisher, I guess.
It does,
nominally, but it sure turns people onto a book, and an author probably likes it. I think that's a small loss. I really do.
Exactly. It will turn you on to an author you might never have heard of otherwise, and you'll buy their next 3 books. People have been sharing books for many, many ages, and the publishing industry has done okay. So
that's right.
It's getting with the program. It's what they got to do. Thanks for the voicemail, Mark. Thanks everyone else who sent voicemails. A lot of you keep calling us just to hear my silly message, so I'm going to change it because I don't want any more hang-ups. We got like 25 hang-ups.
Do they laugh crazily and hang up?
No, usually they're just like, ugh, and then you hear a click because they realize.
Now I want to call it and hear it.
It's not that good.
Oh.
I had said that I whined like a horse, but I forgot that I had actually changed it again since then. It's just stupid. So I'm going to redo the voicemail. Don't call us just to hear something funny.
Come on, call us just to hear something funny.
You got to call us to say something, to ask or
What's that number, Sarah Lane?
Well, the number, I'm glad you asked it, 757-504-IPAD.
757-504-iPad.
Yeah, or 4723. That's iPad in number speak.
I think they could have figured that out.
Of course, you can always write it. Well, some people say
I know.
IPAD. I don't want to hear that.
Give me the numbers.
They want the numbers. iPad Today at twit.tv, of course, is how you can email us. Boy, you email us some great stuff. We got so many nice comments from you, and we just really appreciate it. And of course, all your questions, they don't always get on the show, but I try to answer, you know, if it's something that I can answer easily. But keep in mind that we definitely read everything. So even if we can't get to a question or a comment on the show, we're listening, we're reading, and we're thanking you quietly. And of course, you can always send us a video. I didn't see any videos, new videos in our inbox this week, but if you want to, it's kind of just like calling in, but we get to see you too, and that's fun. So if you just want to upload it to, I don't know, wherever you can upload and send us a link to the video, that would be great. However you want to get a hold of us is awesome, as long as you like us.
Yes, we know you do.
Actually, even if you don't like us, that's cool too.
I'd like you more if you were wearing a funny hat right about now.
You would?
Yes,
well,
so go get a funny hat, and while Sarah runs off to get her hat, it's time for me to tell you about a great place to get your website. It's squarespace.com, the secret behind exceptional websites. I want you to visit the Squarespace site, squarespace.com/iPad today, right now, and take a look at what I consider the best hosting, the best software, the best way to create your website or blog or photo gallery. Anytime you want to have a presence on the net, Squarespace is a great place to do it. That does include really superb hosting, which never runs out of steam because of their very sophisticated Java virtual hosting technology. But also, I would say the best in class in software, the content management system on squarespace.com. It's just superb. Go there right now. You can try it free for 15 days. All you have to do is go to squarespace.com/iPad today. And you'll see all of these great features like the iPhone and iPad app that really make it easy to post. Not just post. The iPad app also allows you to moderate comments, to look at your stats. It's just a fantastic way to marry your iPad to your website. And I think one of the things that's important to remember, it's easy to create a website on Squarespace.com. The hard part for any website is keeping it fresh with new content, and that's why having great content posting capabilities makes a big difference. Squarespace is the best for that. Squarespace.com/iPad today. Go there right now. Click the Try It Free button, that green button, and you can try it to your heart's content for the next 15 days. Use all those great features, the templates and everything. I think you'll like it. Squarespace.com/iPad today. And now I see Sarah Lane has her silly little hat on. That must mean it's time for our app caps. I got to go get my hat.
You better get your hat, Leo. I've got mine. I'm a little bit country today. I'm a little bit rock and roll, but I'm a little more country. And I'm cracking my back, too. Ooh, that feels good. Man, you know, sitting around in Hawaii for a week really takes it out of you. I'm all stiff. Yeah. Maybe I should get another massage. What's that?
You need a good bed?
Well, I'd like the bed that I slept in for a week in the nice hotel.
Well,
my bed is
not as nice. Why you have a bed on your screen?
Oh, that bed. Leo, God, you're the funniest. Yeah, okay, so this app was actually suggested to me by Jason. He lives in Holly Spring, North Carolina. I would have never heard of Houzz before. That's H-O-U-Z-Z.
You've used Airbnb. Is this like Airbnb?
No, it's nothing like Airbnb because it's not about renting these beautiful places that I'm showing you.
Oh, it's just looking at them.
Yeah, it's looking at them and getting design inspiration. And there's also a community involvement. So you actually sign up for an account. Of course, it's free. It's just an account so that you can share what you like with other people. So let's just say, okay, so this is a really cool bed. This actually isn't my style at all because it's too mod for me. You like it.
Yeah, it's very masculine.
It actually kind of looks like a hotel room, but well, the black wall. Well, anyway, okay, let's just say that for whatever reason, I'm interested in this. You know, I like this bed. I might like to I might like to save it and look at it again. You know, maybe I'm thinking of redoing my room or whatever. I can just save the image to my idea book and then be like masculine. That's the little note that I'm leaving to myself to remind myself of why I liked it.
Right.
So that goes into kind of my favorites area. So if I go up to my house, right now I'm just looking at featured stuff. I can look at this other picture that I had also saved. It's a really neat kind of old school bathtub.
I like that.
Which is so, isn't that just the best
bathroom ever? So you're kind
ever?
of a classical, old-fashioned girl.
I am.
You want country. You're country.
I'm a little country.
That's because of the cowboy hat.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was, even without the hat. It's just kind of the style I gravitate toward more because I want it to feel homey and comfortable. You can look at a professionals tab, so you can they actually house, it's weird that I'm not familiar with this website. By the way, this isn't just an app. This Houzz.com is the website.
It's an interior design site, kind of?
Yeah, it's very, well, there's some exterior stuff, but it's mostly interior design. It's ideas. People can take a picture of their living room, for example, and be like, I am out of ideas. I need help here. And then the community, people that they've connected with, or designers who are interested maybe in taking on the challenge can respond. So designers can showcase their work, and this isn't just individual interior designers. Sometimes there's companies who have a portfolio, for example, of stuff that they've done in the past.
This is kind of neat.
Yeah, this company is.
It's almost like a magazine.
So you can see all of their. Yeah, it's very. The pictures are beautiful. It's really nice.
Wow.
So this is work that they've done on this particular style.
Yeah, baby.
I know, right? And you just get the idea. It's like if you like a designer's work, this is a little rich for my blood, but it's certainly stuff I like to look at. I kind of feel like this is the iPad equivalent to some of my HGTV shows that I like,
Right.
Where it's not necessarily stuff that I'm going to do myself. Maybe some of the easier stuff I can take on, but it's just inspiration. It's fun to look at, and you just get ideas. And this community is really cool because you have experts, and then you have people like me who are just looking to get some ideas all in one place, and you get something out of it. So I really like it, and it's free. It's a completely free app. Houzz, Houzz, and thanks again to Jason for suggesting it to me.
You know what? This strikes me. That, you know, all of these magazines are trying to do things like that news.me thing and trying to create iPad applications for their magazines. That's what this really is. The next generation of publishing. It's not a print magazine. It's a website that includes a lot of social. It's very visual.
Yep.
It's much more fun than reading just a standard housing design magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a perfect app for the iPad because it's, you know, it's a website, so it's very interactive already.
It's visual.
Yeah, it's very visual, very interactive.
This is all stuff that
wouldn't you read this instead of an interior design magazine?
I can't imagine that being in my dining room.
That's too spare.
Ugh, just want to kill myself. But this one,
that looks like a conference room.
Ooh.
A little chinoiserie.
Oh no, this is we're getting into kind
French
of this
Provence.
very.
Provençal.
So yeah, this is fun. Again, it's like, wow, that's such a cool chandelier. I'm adding it to my idea book. Blue chandelier.
You know, it's funny because this is kind of what the process we went through with Roger Ambrose when we were designing the new Twit studio.
So true. You could have
We could have done it this way,
and said, here, look at my idea book. And I want a variety of these 20
That's basically what he did. He did a printed idea book.
Yeah.
So you may notice that I'm wearing something a little more formal today.
Yeah, your pimp hat.
That's because I'm going to a wedding.
Oh.
I'll be in my jammies. But I thought I'd have a nice hat for the Kate and Will's wedding. It's coming up tomorrow, you know, early in the morning.
All right. Well, then we won't call it a pimp hat this week.
No, it's a festive derby.
Okay.
I'll be wearing this to Westminster Abbey virtually because I've got now there are a lot of apps. There are a lot of apps for the royal wedding, but I wasn't going to pick one that just, you know, Entertainment Magazine's royal wedding app. No, I'm going to pick one that has a lot of history, a lot of information in it. This is David Starkey, a British historian, and it is the royal wedding app for people who want to know a little bit more about the royals in general, including the beginnings of the monarchy, who want to know a little bit about the family tree, who's whom, who's zooming whom, and all of that stuff. There's a book that has lots of information in it. This is actually an entire book about the monarchy in Great Britain. So you're going to learn something here. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a complete waste of time. And then tomorrow morning, 2 a.m.
Oh, Leo.
You can tune in. They're going to have the live stream via Sky News, and you'll be able to watch on your iPad as the next generation in the British monarchy begins.
Perhaps some of the royal wedding naysayers, the ones who say, why do people talk about this? Why would anybody care? Might get a little background history on why many
Queen
people
Elizabeth
do care.
and Prince Philip.
Sure.
Look, that's a real home decor, isn't it?
I mean, I admit that the whole thing is overhyped a little bit, but it still is a very interesting historical story.
Well, that's the thing. You know, look, I'm not that interested in Kate and Will's. Frankly, I won't really be paying that much attention to it.
The monarchy is an interesting tale.
There is some history here. It's the history of the British Empire. And so this, at least, it is $5. It's not a cheap application.
We'll be asking ourselves these age-old questions. Are they really in love? And will the marriage last?
That's just gold. You shouldn't be asking that.
Well, you know what
Don't you do that when you go to a wedding, though? Don't you say, how long is this going to last? Don't you do that?
Well,
don't you think everybody's sitting there going...
I don't wonder how long it's going to last. I just hope that it does. Because everyone means it so much.
That's the politically correct answer.
Well, I think they think it's going to last. There's no reason not to. It's just that we know that sometimes they don't.
It's so sweet. You're so sweet.
Well, I think it would be sweeter for me to just be like, it's gonna last.
That would be even more sweet.
I'm a little bit more of a realist.
So there's maps.
There's maps.
There's a lot of. I think this is fun.
The English Channel. Isn't she a beaut?
You've been on there. You've been there, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
It's
good.
These aren't exactly interactive.
That's a wonderful app, Leo. $5. Love it.
Family trees.
Wearing your pimp hat and everything.
Look at that. Look at that. You can know the Plantagenet family tree.
How did she come to be?
If you've ever wondered, well, the funny thing about the House of Windsor, it's German.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's the Hanoverians, Prince Albert with Saxe-Coburg.
Well, I'm just happy to get some commoner blood up in there.
Is she a commoner?
She's a commoner.
Oh, then it won't last. Maybe if she wore a cowboy hat.
Maybe.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of royal wedding apps. I had to do a royal wedding app for my app.
I'm glad you did. What's the name of it again?
This one's called Kings and Queens.
Oh.
And it is created by a British historian, so it's got a little bit of more depth.
Leo, I love your app cap. I think it's just wonderful.
David Stocky.
And I'm glad that you can proclaim your love for the British royal family.
I'm a monarchist.
And the wonderful wedding. A monarchist?
I am a monarchist, yes.
A monarch.
I do believe the best form of government is that government by somebody who is anointed by God to sit on a throne and say, off with her head. We are not amused.
And that's it for iPad today. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week. Jolly ho for tea and crumpets.
Tea and crumpets. Scones.